Can I just be a diva for a second and show you my broken fingernail? I'm so sad about it. I didn't think I was so high maintenance, but I guess I am. Anyway, today's video I'm going to be talking about foundation, how to match foundation to your face and everything, and how to apply it and all that jazz. So let's just get into it. So the first thing that you want to do before even going to the store, before even looking at any foundations, is just take a really good look at your skin and really assess it and find all of the different colors and all of the different tones in your skin. So the first thing you want to do is start out with a clean face. No foundation on or makeup, no moisturizers, toners, nothing. And go somewhere with a lot of natural light, like a big window. But not direct sunlight, because that will be too harsh and it'll wash the colors of your skin out. And it'll be hard to tell what undertones are there. And you'll want to do this when you have a bit of extra time on your hands. You don't want to rush it. You really want to inspect everything. And so I suggest wrapping a towel around you so your shoulders and chest and neck and everything are exposed so you can get a good overall look at everything. Look at the skin on your face compared to the skin on your neck, the skin on your chest and shoulders, even the skin on your hands and arms, because you want your face, after you put foundation on it, to look like it's part of your body. If it's too light or too dark, if it's a completely different color than the rest of your body, you'll just look like you swapped heads with somebody and you don't belong to your body, or your body doesn't belong to your head. And that's not really the look you're going for. You want some kind of similarities and cohesiveness. And so you want to try to find the undertones in your skin. And there are certain ways that you can do this. You can take different pieces of gold and silver jewelry and lay it against your skin and see which one looks better on your skin. Not which one you like better, but which one looks a little better on your skin. Or one that I find that is a little bit better, you look at the veins on the inside of your wrist, because that part of your body gets very little sun, and so there's less chance that it has any discoloration or sun damage or anything. And so that, for the most part, is the best place to look for with your veins. So if your veins are purple, then that means you have a cool undertone, which is your pinks, your reds, and the bluish tones in your skin. If your veins are green, that means you have a warm undertone, and so more golden yellow undertone to your skin. If it's both or neither, if you can't really tell, then most likely you're neutral, and so you have a little bit of both, which is kind of somewhat ideal because you can pull any color off. You can wear any color and still look good. Now, there's a misconception that really pale people can't have warm undertones, and that's just not true. They're just really pale. I'm really pale, but I have more neutral to warm undertones than cool undertones. So another way to tell is how you react to the sun without sunscreen. If you're out in the sun a lot and you burn instantly and then you don't end up developing a tan from that, most likely you have cool undertones. But if you burn and then tan easily afterwards, most likely you have warm undertones. And so that can be an indicator also of what kind of undertones. Let's see how many times I can say undertones in this video. One that doesn't really work for me, or my sister actually, is your eyes. Your eyes can be an indicator of the undertone in your skin, which I'm sure for the majority of people will work just fine. But I guess if you have bluish, greenish, grayish eyes, then you're most likely to have cool undertones, which those are the kind of eyes I have, and I have warm undertones. And those who have hazel or brown eyes are supposed to have warm undertones. But my sister has gorgeous goldeny hazel eyes, and she is most definitely cool toned, and so that one is kind of unreliable for me, at least. And so you might want to do a few of these kind of tests just to see what kind of undertone you have in your skin. So I have some foundations laid out. Since it's winter, I've become more pale, and so I've needed to get new foundation, and I haven't tested yet to see which one is my color. And so we're just going to do that together, and hopefully we can find a match. But I figured I could just do that on myself so you can see what I'm talking about instead of just me rambling on. So typically the best place to test to see what foundation would probably be your best bet is right behind your jawbone, right here, and then down the side of your neck right here. Not too far back because that can get really dark. Like on me, I have this kind of birthmark right here that is quite a bit darker than the rest of me, and so if I went by just that on this side, my face, the foundation would be way too dark. And so, and this typically is a good place for people because there's very little discoloration, there's very little hyperpigmentation or such in this area. The only time it wouldn't work is if you notice in your analyzing your skin that you do have pigmentation right here. Swatch somewhere else on your face that's a little more even, a little more neutral, a little bit less patchy or discolored. Or if you have a lot of acne along the jawline, that might not be a good area. Just don't do it anywhere that you know you have hyperpigmentation or acne or redness. I know, not on myself, not to just take the foundation and swipe it on my cheek because it'll be way too cool tone because I have a lot of redness and pink in my cheeks. And then compared to the rest of my body, I've done this before, I look really cool toned and pink. And then the rest of me looks more yellow and it looks like I had some kind of head transplant. That's not really the look I'm going for. I have a couple different foundations. This Milani Concealer in Perfect, their lightest shade is 00 Light Natural. And I went to the store the other day and they came out with 2 new ones. Who knew you could get lighter than 00, but apparently you can. So they have 00A Porcelain and 00B Light. And so those are the ones that I'm going to be testing today, and hopefully we will have some kind of match. So with matching your face, when you're swatching just to see if it would be a good match, that's just a starting point. You want to put it on all of your face just to see how it looks. First I'm going to try the very lightest one. And I don't think that this would be a good match. It looks way too light. And you want some kind of cohesiveness and similarity between your face, your neck, and your chest, which can be difficult because for me, my chest was darker than my face, but my neck was a lot lighter than my face. Because I would remember to put sunscreen on my face, but not my chest. And so my chest got a lot more sun than my face, and my neck obviously got very little because just the angle of it. Your neck naturally doesn't get that much sun. And so you don't want to go too light to match your neck because that could make the rest of your face look really ashy, and it will just make you look pretty sick and unwell. So, just to illustrate, this is obviously too light, and so I'm going to put this foundation on the right side of my face just to kind of show you how bad it can look. Okay, so obviously that is not my shade. It may match my neck really well, but the rest of my face looks terrible, and it's obviously like my hand and my face are 2 completely different colors. It doesn't match my neck or my chest. It doesn't match my chest at all. So, safe to say this is not my color. Okay, so we know that the 00A Porcelain is not my color. Let's try the next one, the 00B. This one still might be a little too light. I don't know. And sometimes you just have to put it all over your face to really see what works best. Okay. This one is too light too, which really bums me out because I know that this one is a touch too dark for me. So let's see what the next one looks like. I'm gonna do this other side of my face though, because this side feels not so good. That actually doesn't look too bad. Maybe I've got a little sun lately. So that's not as bad as I remember it. I think that's a pretty good match. Because you can see that for the most part my hand and my face are very similar. My face and at least my chest is really similar. The only thing that might be a little bit off is my neck, which if there's a drastic change between your face and your neck, sometimes what you will have to do is bring some of the foundation down the center of your neck. Because the sides of your neck are okay, but just right here a lot of times is really pale and it could look really off. So sometimes you might have to take some foundation down your neck, or what I like to do is just use a little bit of bronzer down here, and that usually evens things out okay. Okay, so I quickly threw on a little bit of makeup so you weren't just staring at a blank face. So there are a few other things to consider when you're shopping for foundation, not just the color of it to match your skin, but the formulation and the texture to match your skin. As you're analyzing your skin, notice any dry patches or really oily zones. I have kind of a dry to combination skin, so I know that my cheeks and my forehead can get really dry, and all of my face can get really dry, especially if I don't moisturize really well. But sometimes in my T-zone, so my nose and my chin and a little bit on my forehead will be a little bit oilier than the rest of my face. And I'll notice by the end of the day, a lot of times my foundation will have rubbed off of my nose or my chin, and I feel like it's because of the extra oils there, but I don't have that problem with any other part of my face. And so you can see a foundation on your best friend that looks fantastic, or someone that you know that looks absolutely marvelous on them, and you go and buy it and you put it on and it looks terrible and you're wondering what you did wrong. Chances are you did nothing wrong. It was just maybe you have dry skin and you picked up a foundation for combination to oily skin, which has little micro sponges and formulation to inhibit the production of oil for a little while in your skin, and so it's making your skin even drier. Or vice versa, you have really oily skin and you pick up a foundation specifically formulated for dry skin, which is extra nourishing and moisturizing, which can come across as extra oily on oily skin. And so that's just as important as the color and the tone of the foundation is the formulation. And a lot of times nowadays, it's not on any of mine, I don't think. I have one that's a Revlon Color Stay for normal to dry skin. And they also have ones for combination to oily skin. And so make sure when you go to a counter or a store to buy your foundation that you look at the color, and then make sure that anywhere on the package or description to see if it says formulated for normal to dry or combination to oily or any of those, different words. That is super important. And another thing that you'll want to consider is the level of coverage that you'll want in your foundation. Foundation comes in a plethora of different formulas for the amount of coverage. There's sheer coverage. The MAC Face and Body is sheer, and I love it. There's medium coverage, and then there's full coverage. So depending on what you want to use it for, say you want something for just everyday makeup, you might want something a little more sheer to medium coverage versus a full-on heavy coverage for, say, a night out or photographs where you want to look absolutely seamless and perfect. There's nothing wrong with any of those. If you want the full coverage for day-to-day, go for it. If you want sheer for even pictures or an event, go for it. Just something that makes you feel like you. And that's the other thing. Foundation, in my opinion, is not something to totally obliterate and cover all of your face. Foundation is to even out your skin tone and texture, not to completely put a mask and a blanket over your face. If you have If after you've put your foundation on, you have a blemish that's poking through, or a little extra redness or dark circles, that's what concealer is for. You can spot conceal. Just take a teeny brush or a teeny little bit on your finger and just dab it on, and then blend the edges in a little seamlessly. In the day-to-day life, it looks a little funny to have a full mask of foundation that's all you see. You don't see the woman coming through. You don't see you coming through. It's normal to have imperfections. It's normal to have little freckles and moles and things. That's part of what makes you you and what makes you beautiful. And so just accept it and realize that's you, and that's good, and that's okay. But just another thing to think about. And then with applying your foundation, there are lots of different ways. You can just use your fingers. I love using my fingers for when the formula is really liquidy, like the MAC Face and Body. The sponge and brushes soak too much of it up, and it doesn't give me enough coverage, like any coverage really. And so, or even if it's a thicker foundation and you just like using your fingers, that's wonderful. You don't need anything to apply it. Another way is with a beauty sponge, a makeup sponge. There are lots on the market. If you're interested in my opinions on some, just leave it in the comments below and I can do a video on that too. I really like the Flower Beauty one. There are ones by Eco Tools they're all just shaped a little bit differently. And then there's ones by Real Technique that I enjoy. There's lots of different ones, and so try them out, see which one you like the best. There are also brushes that you can use. Ones like, I don't love using brushes just because with the foundations that I have, I find, at least the way I tend to apply them and buff them in, they leave streaks, and I don't like that. And so this kind of brush, it's more of a flat brush. If you don't like using your fingers, you can apply your foundation with this and then blend it in with your sponge. Or you can apply it with this and then buff it in with a brush similar to this. It's dense and it's flatter on the top. The edges are a little bit rounded, and so it gives a little bit more of a seamless look. And I do like using brushes occasionally if the mood strikes. I'm not against brushes. So try out what you like best and then just go for it. And then when you're applying the foundation, it's kind of like spray painting something, for lack of a better example. It's best to work in thin layers because you can add more as you go, and it's a little bit more difficult to remove too much without just totally wrecking the whole thing and having to start over. So work a little bit at a time, really thinly, and then you can build up if you need to. Another thing is starting at the center of your face and then working outwards, or starting like in the middle of your cheek and working outwards. That way there won't be too much product built up on your hairline or your jawline and having to have foundation end up in your hair, or that line of foundation that kind of looks a little bit thick and wonky. So just thin layers layered up. It will look a lot more natural also than just one thick layer that never really dries down and settles and melts into the skin. It will always look a little bit thick and chunky and cakey, and it'll start breaking down a lot quicker over the course of the day. And then another thing is when you're actually out shopping for it, it's so hard to find the right shade of foundation in indoor lights like that, because there's always some kind of like yellow cast or purple or blue cast to the light or something. And so what you can do is a lot of stores will let you take a sample home. So I know at Sephora, they'll give you like a little pot like this, and they'll just put a pump or two in there for you to take home to try. And I would suggest putting it on in the morning like you would normally do, and then see how it wears throughout the course of the day. Whether you get really oily down the center of your nose, or if it's too drying under your eyes or on your cheeks or wherever. Just see how it wears, how it feels, how it sits on your skin, how it looks. If people tell you that your skin looks really great that day, or if your best friend comes up and goes, "What are you wearing? You should get rid of it." Trust people most of the time. And if they don't offer samples, then try to find a store that has a really good return policy. I know Walmart has an excellent return policy, even with used makeup products. Ulta has a good return policy. Sephora has a good return policy. But read up on their return policies, because I know they can change sometimes. But a lot of those stores have a guarantee that if you don't love it, you can return it for a full refund. And then the last thing, and maybe I should have mentioned this first because it is probably the most important to foundation application, is your skincare routine. I know it's something that we don't want to hear. It's like saying drink water a lot, but actually drinking enough water will help your skin tremendously. When I don't drink enough water, like I'm saying 100 ounces or more, my lips will get really dry and cracked and flaky, and then nothing looks good on them. Nothing looks good on them. It's the same with the rest of your skin on your face, the rest of the skin on your body, especially your hands. Drink enough water, and then make sure you have good skincare products, a good face wash, good moisturizer, good toner, good serums, good face masks, whatever you're into, make sure they're good quality products. If there's anything that you want to spend money on and invest in, is your skincare items, not necessarily your foundation. Your foundation would be a good investment and splurge also, but if you had to choose the skincare. The quality of your skin, the texture, the fine lines, the wrinkles, everything will impact how your foundation sits and the application of your foundation and the wear time of your foundation. All of that will come into play based on how well you take care of your skin. And so be really on top of taking care of your skin. I think I covered everything. If not, and I just want to make it clear that I am not a professional. I just like playing with makeup. I haven't gone to any sort of school for this. I've just read a lot and watched a lot, and I've kind of fallen in love with the process, and so I just want to share that with you. One of my favorite people that I've learned a lot from is Lisa Eldridge. She's a really awesome, world-renowned makeup artist that has done makeup on tons of celebrities, tons of people, and she really knows her stuff. And she has an awesome YouTube channel, and I'll link her foundation series down below because that is super educational. I think I've covered everything, but check out her channel anyway. There's a lot of fantastic information that she shares because she really knows her stuff. That's what she's been doing for over 20, 30 years, and so go check her out. If you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll try to get back to you, or I'll try to make a separate video concerning that. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.